Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Michael Vick, live on VicTube. Yes, and today I am making my 2021 Florida Gators preview and prediction. So anyway, of course, my mom last year, of course, Florida finally got over the hump and beat Georgia. And won the East, of giving Dan Mullen his first division title. Yeah, and then they kind of, they almost went to the playoffs. Or of course, they ended up, with 2 losses at the end of the season. Of course, that unexplainable, that really head-scratching loss to LSU at the end of the season kind of put them out of the running for the playoffs. Of course, we thought they were just gonna get blown out by Alabama, right? But they did give them actually give them a good game. It ended up being a shootout. And I think that had Florida won that game, if they had beat Alabama in that SEC championship, then I think that they would have been in the playoffs. So I know, you can make that argument, between Florida, Notre Dame, Texas A&M. I believe that that in that situation that Florida would have deserved to get in, even with those 2 losses. So really, I think they were just a touchdown away from making the playoffs. So, and then sort of gave up at the end of the season, right, with that Oklahoma loss. Getting blown out by Oklahoma. So anyway, so then let's see. So then head coach Dan Mullen, the Florida man is going into his 4th season in Gainesville, and then his record overall is 29-9 in his first 3 seasons. And then he has he's 2-1 in bowl games. And he has also won the East one time. That was last year. Of course, that was his only division title as a head coach. It took him 12 years to win his first division title. And anyway, and he has also taken Florida to 3, back-to-back New Year's 6 bowls. And of course, he is 2-1 in those games. And then anyway, so now let's look at Florida's recruiting lately. This is a new thing that I'm adding. I think I should be talking about these teams' recent activity in recruiting. So I'm talking about the last 4 recruiting classes, which make up, most of a team's current rosters. That gives you an idea of, the overall talent level. So anyway, so in 2018, they signed the 14th ranked recruiting class. 2019, they had the number 9 recruiting class. 2020, they also had the number 9 class. And 2021, they had the 11th ranked class. So over the last 4 cycles, that is an average recruiting class of 11th in the nation. So yeah, so anyway, so then there, now let's look at some of their key departures that are worth mentioning, players that they've lost, to the NFL or to, transfer portal. So, of course, I'm going to start with their quarterback, Kyle Trask. He had an amazing season. Of course, he was the front runner for the Heisman at one point. So anyway, so he was 301 out of 437. That's 68.9% of completion percentage. 4,283 yards, 9.8 yards per attempt, 43 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. And then all 3 of Trask's top targets, top 3 targets are also gone. Wide receiver Kadarius Toney, 70 receptions for 984 yards, 14.1 yards per catch, and 10 touchdowns. They also had 19 carries for 161 yards, 8.5 yards per carry, and a touchdown. And then tight end Kyle Pitts had 43 receptions for 770 yards, 17.9 yards per reception, and 12 touchdowns. And of course, he is my Falcons' number 1 draft pick. We got wide receiver Trayvon Grimes, 38 catches for 589 yards, 15.5 yards per catch, and 9 touchdowns. Yeah, so I do think that Florida's offense is definitely going to take a step back this year. So anyway, you got kicker Evan McPherson. He was 52 of 52 on extra points and 17 out of 22 on field goals. That is 77.3%. And then you got safety Donovan Steiner, 58 tackles, 32 of them solo, and 2 pass deflections. And safety, Sean Davis, 42 tackles, 25 solo, 1 pass deflection, 2 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble. And cornerback, Marco Wilson, the shoe thrower, had 33 tackles, 24 solo, 4 pass deflections, and 1 forced fumble. Yeah, and 1 thrown shoe. And then also, defensive tackle, T. Slayton, 38 tackles, 14 of them solo, and 1.5 sacks. Yeah, and then not on this list, unfortunately, but this would be a good departure. Florida kept defensive coordinator Todd Grantham. After their defense was terrible last year. So anyway, but I digress. Anyway, so let's move on to Florida's impact players for 2021. So, like I've mentioned in my earlier videos, trying to try to limit the number of impact players that I mentioned. So of course I decided to do 4 on offense and 4 on defense. That's a total of 8. So normally, for the offense, I do the quarterback and then 3 skill position players, and a combination of wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends. And then on the defense, you like to include, at least 1 linebacker, at least 1 defensive back, and at least 1 defensive lineman. Try to keep variety in the positions. So anyway, let's start with quarterback. Emory Jones, he was the backup to Kyle Trask last year. And then he was 18 of 32. That's 56.3%, 221 yards, 6.9 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he's a dual threat quarterback. He also had 32 carries for 217 yards, 6.8 yards per carry, and 2 touchdowns. So now let's move on to their skill positions. So we got running back Damian Pierce. RB1. He was the team's leading rusher last year. So he had 106 carries, 503 yards, 4.7 yards per carry, and 4 touchdowns. And then his receiving stats: 17 receptions for 156 yards, 9.2 yards per reception, and 1 touchdown. And wide receiver Jacob Copeland, the leading returning receiver. Yes, looks like he's going to be wide receiver 1. So last year he had 23 catches for 435 yards, 18.9 yards per catch, and 3 touchdowns. And then also wide receiver 2, Justin Shorter. He had 25 catches, 268 yards, 10.7 yards per catch, and 3 touchdowns. Also, an honorable mention to the other running back, Malik Davis. But I didn't include him because he didn't have any touchdowns, right? But he is really effective as a receiver out of the backfield. And then anyway, next we got moving over to the defense. See, we got inside linebacker Ventrell Miller. Yep, the team's leading tackler last year. He had 82 tackles, 52 of them solo, 3.5 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. You got outside linebacker Britton Cox. The transfer from Georgia. And then he had 41 tackles. He's not currently. The former Georgia transfer, I should say. He had 41 tackles, 21 solo, 4 sacks, 2 pass deflections, and 1 fumble recovery. And then anyway, so then we got cornerback Kaiir Elam. He had 39 tackles, 28 solo, 11 pass deflections, 2 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble. And then defensive tackle Zachary Carter, 36 tackles, 14 of them solo, 5 sacks, 2 pass deflections, and 1 fumble recovery, which he returned for a touchdown. A scoop and score. And also I give an honorable mention to cornerback Brad Stewart. Let's see. Yes, so Elam and Stewart both had similar numbers in the tackling department, but Elam had better numbers against the pass, as far as getting pass deflections and interceptions. He has 2 interceptions that Elam had. Stewart didn't have any. That's why I decided to go with Elam. Anyway. And then, so now we will revisit the schedule from last year. So anyway, which last year, 8-4. Of course, you had the loss to Texas A&M early in the season, but you did get a huge win against my Georgia Bulldogs. course, LSU, yeah, really a head scratching loss. You know, you were better than LSU last year. Of course, LSU was 5-5, so I mean they were unranked. So of course that was the game where Marco Wilson threw the shoe 20 threw the LSU player's shoe 20 yards. It got a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. And that gave LSU a first down. So anyway, and then the SEC championship against Alabama, which, like I said earlier, I think had Florida won, they would have been in the playoffs, or they would have at least deserved to be, in my opinion. But anyway, so then the shootout with Alabama, you lost, and then the Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl, getting blown out 55-20. Where the team for the most part quit. You had a lot of opt-outs, and the ones that did stay, well, they just weren't very motivated for this game. Of course, we see this a lot in bowl games, right? Where one team just doesn't want to be there, so they kind of just shut down. They kind of just check out emotionally. So so that's very brutal. Yep, ending the season with 3 straight losses. So I do think that Florida takes a step back this year. So anyway, of course, didn't get a spring game last year, because of COVID. Everyone's spring got canceled, and then this year, no spring game either, because it was being used as a community testing and vaccination center. So that sucks. But I guess there are bigger things than college football, even though we may sometimes think otherwise. But anyway, I am excited that we're gonna have a normal season this year. So anyways, they start out week 1 against FAU, Florida Atlantic. And you should win that game without a problem. No reason why you shouldn't lose that game. And then you play at South Florida. Anyway, so that should be a win. It doesn't matter that it's at South Florida. This game could be played in a Walmart parking lot, and it wouldn't matter. So anyway, yes, you get 2 warm-up games before you host Alabama, and this game is gonna get ugly. I think Bama wins big. Uh, and then got, Tennessee, that's a win. Half their team is hitting the transfer portal. And then at Kentucky, I gave y'all a win there too. Yeah, I think that y'all will find a way to win like y'all normally do. I mean, y'all have only lost to Kentucky once in the last 30 years, and recent history. There have been a lot of close games, but Florida has always seemed to find a way to win, except for that one time in 2018. So anyway, and then you play, and then you could come back home to play Vanderbilt. That'll be an easy win. I mean, you should destroy Vandy. I mean, they're just terrible. And then couldn't win an SEC game last year, and honestly, don't expect that to be any different this year. So then you're at LSU, and I have this as a loss. I think that this isn't gonna be last year's LSU team. I think they're gonna be much better. Yeah, they're not going 500. So yeah, I think they do beat you. And then anyway, and then the bye week before you take on my Georgia Bulldogs, and y'all are gonna get destroyed. Oh, yep. JT Daniels is gonna light you up. Yeah. So anyway, and then next, you're at South Carolina. That is a win. South Carolina. Is gonna be a bad team this year. I think. Yeah, they won't be very good. You should beat them. Despite the loss to Georgia the week before. So anyway. And then come back home, maybe play an FCS opponent, Samford. You'll absolutely obliterate them. Should be no problem. And then next you are at Mizzou. Yeah, that's right, Mizzou. Anyway, my mom, and I think y'all are gonna get absolutely mollywopped. So anyway, and then finish the season with Florida State at home, and I think you beat them. You beat your in-state rival. And then so that's my prediction for Florida. Yep, I have them going 8-4. So 8-4. Yes, so I do have them taking a step back. I mean, that offense is gonna be nowhere near what we saw last year. So sorry, Florida man, you're not duplicating that offense. I mean, Emory Jones is no Kyle Trask. So, but anyway, tell me what you think in the comments, and thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all again next time.